The big focus right now is India-Bangladesh ties. Are they right now in troubled waters? Bangladesh and India are now facing catastrophic floods, particularly India's Tripura region and of course Bangladesh as well. 15 people have died so far in this massive flooding that has been going on since the 21st of August. Relentless rains, monsoon rains are the reasons why it has been flooding in parts of Tripura and Bangladesh. But Bangladesh, meanwhile, the government there feels, and a lot of the social media there says that, and they blame India for it. They say that India released the dam water from the Dumbur dam, and that's the reason why there has been flooding in Bangladesh. They also say that India did not give any prior warning before releasing water. India has clarified on it. The MEA has made a statement on it saying very categorically that it is not the case. What happened was relentless rainfall, because of which there was automatic release of dam water, which is normally the case. Nothing different this time around. But the case in point, does it reflect now a growing mistrust between two neighbors in the wake of the political unrest and flux that Bangladesh has witnessed in the last 3 weeks or so? Is this testimony to how the relationship between India and Bangladesh has now taken a turn? Maybe in the next couple of months, it could see that kind of unease as India and Bangladesh work out a different framework to try and work such issues out together. That's the big debate that we are having on India Global. Joining me is Major General Muniruzzaman, who is the president of Bangladesh Institute for Peace and Security Studies. I also have Yashabur Rahman, who's the web editor of the Business Standard. Thank you so much, gentlemen, for taking out the time. And that's my question I want to ask both of you, which is that the fact that there is mistrust on something that is a regular feature in that part of the country. It happens every year. There is monsoon rainfall, and because of which this kind of flooding does take place very regularly. But it's being raised in a manner that is indicative of a growing mistrust between Bangladesh and India. Is that the case? Let me start with you, General.
There is a general atmosphere of mistrust due to various political reasons. I also see that there is a perception that the water is released without any early warning. Although MEA releases have said that they did warn, but they have also said that the warning was continued only up to 21st, after which they say that due to power outage, communication could not be carried out. Therefore, I think there was also a lack of communication from the Indian side to Bangladesh for early warning systems to be activated. But in general, the people are of the perception that the flooding happened, and the flooding happened in a tsunami-like style, and it is because sufficient early warning was not given by the Indian side before opening the dams.
Okay, I am reading out the statement which says heavy rainfall has been continuing since August 21 in the whole of Tripura and adjoining districts of Bangladesh. In the event of heavy inflow, automatic releases have been observed. It also goes on to say that data showing rising trend has been supplied to Bangladesh up to 1500 hours. On 21st of August at 1800 hours, due to flooding, there was a power outage leading to problems of communication. Still, we have tried to maintain communication through other means created for urgent transmission of data. So, in fact, Yashab, let me ask you this. The statement is quite clear, but why is it leading to so many questions being asked? Mohammed Yunus also, in fact, asked the Indian High Commissioner to Bangladesh then to come immediately after these questions were raised. You put the dots together, it does indicate that the relationship has definitely taken a turn where even regular issues end up becoming major challenges.
It does.
Right.
I think there's a lack of trust. Right. It does.
Yashabur Rahman, please. Yashabur Rahman. Yeah.
Yes. I think the Environment Minister today also said that they will hold a meeting with the India ambassador where they will ask these questions about the early warning system. But I think at the same time, you must take into consideration that there are hydro plants in Sikkim. There is the Tista Barrage the project. And because of these, there have been numerous floodings throughout Bangladesh because it has made the river flow system quite erratic. So either there is flooding or there is scarcity. So when it comes to the flooding issue that we're discussing right now. At the same time, I don't think there is a government-to-government level of distrust. I see there is the need to discuss with each other. They are holding bilateral negotiations. which is, I think, the only way forward. When it comes to social media, I think social media is always full of, I think the loudest voices are amplified. We saw the same thing during our transition from the previous government to this, where social media in India was also rife with allegations of all, like Hindus were being attacked all over the country. I think the same situation plays out in Bangladesh. Whether there's a rift or not, I think that is a question that remains to be seen. For now, it seems like they are holding discussions with each other.
In fact, this was my next question. There are 54 rivers that India and Bangladesh share, and barring Teesta, of course, most of them, there is a water sharing pact in place now. And the reason for that Teesta, of course, agreement is also because of several other considerations. But the question I want to ask is that, do you think that there is no, as far as this issue highlights, that there is no breakdown of communication between India and Bangladesh? And that's really the bigger takeaway, the fact that there may be political flux and violence and impacting the relationship, but the regular channels of communication remain robust and strong, and that will ensure that the relationship withstands such challenges. Do I read this correct, Major General Manir Usman?
I think there was a lack of communication. I think the communication could have been better, so that early warning systems could be activated in Bangladesh. I don't quite understand why a power failure alone can stop the communication between the two authorities in two countries. There is a general feeling that if the early warning system was activated in time, more people could be saved.
Okay. Yashabur Rahman, there is also a meeting that's likely between Prime Minister Modi and Mohammad Yunus in the next couple of weeks. In the backdrop of such issues coming to light, how do you see that meeting? There's also demands for Sheikh Hasina's extradition being made. There are some demands that unless the extradition happens, it could impact the relationship between New Delhi and Dhaka. In the backdrop of such noises coming in, how do you see the meeting between Prime Minister Modi and Mohammad Yunus?
I think Bangladesh has always looked to have a very peaceful, prosperous relationship with our neighbors, and I do believe that India has also touted its neighbor first policy over the years. I do think that when these two powers sit together, they will negotiate on a basis of friendship and not on a basis of causing a rift with each other. I'm sorry, I think there's some electricity disruption right now I'm facing, but I think I can be heard.
Yes, absolutely. Go ahead.
Yeah. So as I was saying, I think they will have a discussion on the basis of friendship, but at the same time, there are so many issues at play here, and I think all of them have to be taken into consideration.
Very quickly, because I'm running out of time, and this is a question I asked to both of you, starting with you, General Sir, that in your assessment, how do you see the next couple of months as far as the India-Bangladesh relationship is concerned? What do you prioritize, General?
We always want a friendly relationship with our neighbor India, but India should see the changed realities on the ground in Bangladesh and accept that this has been a people's revolution by people's will and not assign that to any conspiracy theories.
Okay.
A new reality that has changed the ground should be accepted in India, and a new reset of relations should be activated in that we should both work for a close friendly relationship.
Yashabur Rahman, very quickly, a reset has happened. What do you think should be the priority now?
I do think friendship should be the priority. At the same time, I do think if the issue of extradition comes up, India respects its part of the treaty as Bangladesh has respected its part of the treaty over the years. And I think that will just lead to a congenial environment between the two.
All right. I have to leave it there, gentlemen. Thank you so much for taking out the time and joining me on this edition of India Global.